Most people missed Nvidia. They were watching. They knew something was happening. But they waited, and by the time it felt safe, the move was already made. Then came AI. Same story. Same hesitation. Same regret. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Missing a wave doesn't mean you're too late. It means you're being set up for the next one, if you know where to look. And right now, there's a signal hiding in plain sight. Last week, Trump sat down with his top economic advisors. No press conference. No big announcement. But one word kept coming up in that room. A word that, when a sitting president repeats it, means billions of dollars are about to move. That word was dominance. Not growth. Not opportunity. Dominance. That's government language for, we are not losing this race. When presidents talk like that, institutions listen. When institutions listen, money moves. And when money moves at that level, regular people are almost always the last to know. Not today. Here's what I'm going to show you in this video. First, why America just quietly declared a brand new economic arms race, and why governments from Washington to Beijing are both racing toward the same finish line. Second, why this shift is not just a tech story, it's a national security story, which means the money behind it is serious, patient, and huge. And third, the exact 3 ETFs that institutional money is already using to get positioned right now. You didn't miss this. The wave is just leaving the shore. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 3 ETFs are you watching by the end of this video? Let's get into it. Let me show you something real quick, because once you see this pattern, you cannot unsee it. Every single generation gets one big race. One moment where a new technology changes everything, how we work, how we communicate, how wealth gets built. And every single time, most people either laugh at it, ignore it, or wait too long. In the 1970s, it was semiconductors. The tiny chips that would eventually run everything. People called them glorified calculators. Didn't seem like a big deal until it was the biggest deal in the world. In the 1990s, it was the internet. Serious, educated people went on national television and said it was a fad. Passing trend. Nothing to worry about. In the 2000s, cloud computing showed up. Why would anyone put their files in the sky? That was the actual question people were asking. The people who figured out the answer early, they built generational wealth. In the 2010s, mobile took over. BlackBerry thought they were untouchable. Their shareholders learned a very expensive lesson. In the 2020s, AI arrived. Most people watched. Most people waited. Most people missed it. Now look at that list. Semiconductors, internet, cloud, mobile, AI. Every decade, a new race. Every decade, the same hesitation. Every decade, the same regret for the people who stood on the sidelines. We are sitting at the start of the next entry on that list right now, in 2026. And this time, you're early. So what exactly is defense tech and AI weapons? Let me break it down simply, because this is not as complicated as it sounds. Think of it like this. For decades, war was fought with boots, tanks, and pilots. Human decisions made in real time on a battlefield. That was the old model. Now imagine replacing the slowest part of that system, human reaction time, with a computer that thinks in milliseconds. That's what AI weapons technology does. It makes defense systems faster, sharper, and harder to beat. Here's why that matters for your money right now. AI didn't just change social media and customer service. It created a massive demand problem inside the defense industry. Militaries around the world suddenly need smarter drones, faster missile defense systems, AI-powered surveillance, and cyber weapons that can respond to threats before a human even sees them coming. Defense tech is the only sector built to solve that problem at scale. We're not talking about science fiction. The U.S. military is already deploying AI-assisted systems in active operations. Contracts worth hundreds of billions are already being signed. The infrastructure is being built right now, quietly, quickly, and with government money backing every dollar of it. This is the sector. And the window is still open. This stopped being a technology story a long time ago. What you're looking at now is a national security story, and that changes everything. Here's why that matters. When a private company bets on a new technology, that's interesting. When the U.S. government bets on it, that's a signal. Because governments don't move fast. They don't chase trends. When they commit billions of dollars to a sector, it's because they've already decided they cannot afford to lose. And right now, Washington has decided it cannot afford to lose the AI weapons race. So watch how this always plays out, because the pattern never changes. The government moves first. They pour in money, sign contracts, and build the foundation. That validates the sector. Then institutional investors, the hedge funds, the pension funds, the big banks, they see the government stamp of approval and they start positioning. Then ETFs begin loading up those same stocks. And finally, last of all, the regular investor finds out. You are watching the institutional phase happen in real time right now. The government has already moved. Institutions are moving. ETFs are loading. That means you still have a window, but it is not going to stay open forever. The first ETF is the iShares U.S. Aerospace and Defense ETF, ticker ITA. This fund holds a broad basket of companies that build, supply, and support the entire U.S. defense system. It covers everything from aircraft manufacturers to cybersecurity firms to the companies making the chips that power AI weapon systems. If the defense industry grows, this ETF is built to capture that growth across the board. Now let's talk about what's actually inside it. Raytheon. They build the missile defense systems protecting U.S. assets around the world, and every global conflict drives more government orders their way. Lockheed Martin. The company behind the F-35 fighter jet and some of the most advanced AI-assisted military technology on the planet. Northrop Grumman. They're building the next generation of stealth bombers and space-based defense systems, the kind of contracts that run for decades. L3Harris Technologies. Their specialty is battlefield communication and electronic warfare, the nervous system of a modern AI-powered military. Booz Allen Hamilton. The firm that helps the U.S. government actually implement and operate its most sensitive AI defense programs. Every one of those companies is a piece of the same puzzle. This ETF isn't betting on one company. It's betting on the entire stack. The second ETF is the ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, ticker ARKQ. And the difference between this one and ITA is important to understand before you put a single dollar into it. If ETF 1 says own the infrastructure, ETF 2 says own the frontier. ITA gives you the established giants, the companies already deep inside the defense system with decade-long contracts and stable revenue. ARKQ gives you something different. It gives you exposure to the companies building what warfare and national security will look like 10 years from now. Let's look at a few names inside it. Kratos Defense. They make autonomous drones and unmanned combat vehicles, the exact technology every major military on Earth is racing to develop right now. Palantir. Their AI software is already being used by the U.S. military to process battlefield intelligence faster than any human team ever could. Now here's where I'm going to be straight with you, because you deserve that. This ETF is volatile. These are younger, faster-moving companies. The price will swing. There will be red days that feel uncomfortable. But volatility is the price of getting in early. The question is whether the destination is worth the ride. The third ETF is one most people have never heard of, and that's exactly why it's on this list. It's the Direxion Aerospace and Defense ETF, ticker DFEN. And before you scroll past it, let me connect this back to what we talked about in Section 3, because this is where that national security frame really pays off. Remember the pattern. Government validates. Institutions follow. ETFs load. Public is last. DFEN is built for the investor who understands that defense tech isn't just a trend. It's becoming critical infrastructure, the same way oil powered the 20th century, the same way semiconductors powered the digital age. AI weapons and autonomous defense systems are going to power the next era of global power. Countries that control this technology will control the conversation. Countries that don't will be playing catch-up for a generation. This ETF is a direct bet on that reality. It holds concentrated positions in the same defense giants driving the AI weapons build-out, but it's structured to move harder when the sector moves. That means more risk. It also means more reward if your thesis is right. Most people won't even know this one exists. That's the point. And now you do. I know what some of you are thinking right now. This sounds too good. This sounds like hype. I've heard this before and I got burned. That's fair. And I respect it. So let me talk directly to that feeling. People laughed at Amazon in 2001, called it a bookstore with a bad business model. The people still holding it today turned every $1,000 into over $1 million. People laughed at Tesla in 2012, said electric cars were a toy for rich people, not a real industry. People laughed at Bitcoin in 2013, called it internet money for criminals. Nothing serious. People laughed at Zoom in 2019. A video call app? Who needs that? Then 2020 happened, and the stock went up over 400% in a single year. Here's the pattern. Not every company in a new space wins. That's true. Some will fail. Some will disappoint. But every single space that combines government attention, institutional money, and a real technology need, that space grows. And when a space grows, it produces millionaires. The question was never, will every defense AI company win? The question is simply this: does the space grow? Look at the contracts. Look at the budgets. Look at the global arms race happening right now. You already know the answer. Here's the bottom line. The US government just told us where the next wave of money is going. The only question is whether you're positioned before or after Wall Street finishes loading up. 3 ETFs. 3 different ways to play the same shift. ITA for the broad infrastructure, the entire defense stack in one fund. ARKQ for the frontier, the companies building what warfare looks like tomorrow. And DFEN for the geopolitical play. A direct bet on defense tech becoming the critical infrastructure of the next era of global power. You now know more about this shift than the vast majority of people who will hear about it 2 years from now and wish they had moved sooner. So here's the challenge I'm leaving you with. Will you study this shift while it's still early, while the window is still open and the institutional money is still moving in? Or will you wait until it's all over the headlines, until every news anchor is talking about it, until Wall Street has already made the move and you're buying at the top again? The information is in front of you. The pattern is clear. What you do next is up to you. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment right now. Which of these 3 ETFs are you watching? ITA, ARKQ, or DFEN? See you in the next one.